What's up, Hoopers? Dennis Schroeder came out and talked about what him and LeBron James said behind closed doors. The Lakers situation is getting muddy. We got 37 point guards, but these new words from LeBron James may be telling us something. Is Westbrook going, or is he coming off the bench? Is he starting? That's what we're going to discuss in this video. We're going to break down not only what these words of LeBron James mean, but also a couple different combinations that the Lakers are going to have to look at to see what is the best fit for the Lakers making it into the postseason. We're going to break down some stats. We're going to break down different combinations. They're about to head into training camp, and Darvin Ham said, look, this is a competition. Somebody's going to come out a clear-cut winner. You've got Russell Westbrook. He's a point guard. You got Patrick Beverley. He's a point guard. Some people say that Kendrick Nunn, well, he's a two-guard. Every single possession he's played, he's been the point guard. So that is a massive load, including a guy who just came in, Dennis Schroeder. So we're going to break down a couple different rosters, the way that they're going to, compete in training camp. We're going to talk about LeBron James's comments and what they mean. And you guys are going to vote on what you want the Lakers to do this season. I am your NBA white guy. I talk all things NBA hoops from a hooper's perspective. And if you're loving that kind of content, then make sure you dunk that like button and you subscribe so that you never miss any of my videos. So Dennis Schroeder came out and said that him and LeBron James had some discussions, some talks, and let me tell you one thing, and it fires me up. This means that LeBron James is getting a little bit more excited about this season coming up. He's already talked about how he's at 100% health. Anthony Davis is healthy. And the one thing that was really wrong last season, health, shooting. Well, that's two things. But this is something that LeBron talked about. Let's look at the comment. All right, so let's take a look at this quote right here. Dennis Schroeder said that LeBron said he was glad he got me back. I bet. Schroeder said, it's unfinished business. That year when I was there were no fans, there was COVID, everybody was hurt. This year, hopefully, everything stays good, everybody stays healthy, and then we'll try to go for something. Does this mean that LeBron James has different plans for the season? He is very excited to have Schroeder back. Now, if we remember just a few seasons ago when we had Dennis Schroeder, it wasn't the most positive season. They did go through a lot of injuries, but this is a player that the Lakers absolutely love. They tried to give a 4-year, $80 million extension. Now, I don't know why he didn't accept it, but the dude went out to try and ball out and bet on himself. It didn't really pan out. So they get this guy back at $2.6 million, and it's a guy they wanted to pay $80 million to. Crazy, crazy luck that they brought him back. Now, the other part of this is, come on down here. There you go. Dennis Schroeder had multiple other NBA teams after him, and he chose to go with the Lakers. He probably could have gotten even more money at one of these other teams, but after a solid summer in the EuroLeague, he went right back to the purple and gold. And he chose LeBron James. This is telling me something. If LeBron is telling him he's pumped to have him back, if he chose the Lakers over multiple other teams, I think there's been some communication here. And this is a duo, again, if healthy, that can really go deep into the playoffs. So that means that we need to break down a couple different of roster moves that the Lakers can make because we're going into training camp. Get out of here. See ya. And that's what we're going to do next. Let's discuss the Lakers roster as it stands right now with basically 4 point guards. You've got, obviously, Russell Westbrook, brought in Patrick Beverley, brought in Dennis Schroeder, and you still have Kendrick Nunn. Now, many of you guys have been commenting in my section about trading Kendrick Nunn and maybe one of those picks to get some other players, like a Cam Reddish and Ever 48 or something like that. But I think they're going to roll in with what they got. They do not want to get rid of these 2 picks. They want to keep cap space and those picks for next season. You've got incredible free agents next year, like Chris Middleton. Imagine bringing him in with LeBron and AD. That would be amazing. But that's their big position going forward. Now, I know that they really lack shooting, but that also is because of the situation last year. But let's discuss some of these different roster lineups because you have those 4 point guards. First and foremost, the best shooter out of the entire group, Kendrick Nunn. He just is. If you look at his stat chart, This is a guy who obviously can shoot at a very high level. It's a guy who shoots a lot, and he is a knockdown shooter. So if we look at what he does, way better than any of the other point guards that we currently have with Westbrook, which is crazy to think about, but it's this finishing around the rim at 65%. Also shooting at a high click up here, 60, over 60% in multiple spots. So this is a guy who can get in here and shoot great. If we look at the shooting chart of Westbrook, he's at like 20% right here. Mid-range jumpers, he really struggles with. Every once in a while he can get that jumper from the corner off the glass going, but last year we saw it twice go off the top of the backboard. Mentally, he's just gone. But I do think off of the bench, that is a guy who can go in there, dribble the air out of the ball, go get as many points and stats as you possibly can, and allow these starters to go in there and really get a good lead. That's what we have to discuss. We got to discuss who are our two starters, our backcourt right now, because obviously it's going to be LeBron James and it's going to be Anthony Davis. But are they going to go small and have an Austin Reeves at the 3, or are they going to bring in Bryant, or are they going to bring in Jones and be the 5? That we don't truly know, but the backcourt is what we all are trying to figure out right now. So when we look at the shot chart here of Schroeder, again, shoots at a very good high level at the elbow here, mid-range jumpers. This is really, really important when you think about a point guard who can go in. This means he's going to be collapsing defenses. This means obviously when he goes out and shoots straight away, he's not as good over here, but this is a guy who can shoot 36, 37% from up top. He's going to get the respect from other players. Obviously in the corner, like most players, 50%, only 8 shots. But that's where I think starting rotation number 1, you have Kendrick Nunn and you have Patrick Beverley. This gets you tenacious defense and it gets you shooting with Kendrick Nunn. Now, you have to have somebody like, obviously, LeBron shooting very well. You're going to have Anthony Davis and another big guy. You're not going to have a lot of shooting, but this is a team, obviously in 2020, they really played good with the big men and with LeBron and AD. And with that pick and roll, they were getting a lot of easy buckets. And if you remember what they did a ton, they ran the fast break. How many freaking times did you see Anthony Davis beating the entire team, both teams down the court, and scoring easy buckets? This also makes it a lot harder on the offense. Those are little wins that can go a long way. So I think having a Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley to start, and then you can bring Schroeder and Westbrook off of the bench, that right there is an incredible lineup. That's number 1. Number 2, Schroeder and Pat Beverley. Now, you're not going to really have any shooting. You're going to rely heavily on, Anthony Davis having statistics like he did in the bubble run, more like 38 to 40% from 3 stretching out. LeBron going to have to hit, 38%, but these are not shooters, and LeBron is your point guard. So, again, this is a rotation where you're trying to absolutely be the top defense in the entire league and rely on your bona fide stars in LeBron James and Anthony Davis to score a lot of points, which is what they were there, brought in to do. And LeBron James trying to hand the torch off to Anthony Davis to average, 28, 30 points a game. This is what they can do. But defensively, they would be very tough, especially with the young Damian Jones playing a role almost like JaVale McGee, but younger, getting a lot of block shots, rim protecting, getting down the court, getting easy dunks from LeBron, that kind of thing. You need to vote at the end of this, and if you're loving my kind of content, make sure you dunk that like button. It really helps me out. Please hit the like button right now. And the next one is with my boy Austin Reeves. This is a guy who can play an Alex Caruso role. AC Fresh, baby. Oh, I miss him so much. But Reeves was a guy, again, from a hooper's perspective, watching him last season, people are going to look at stats. He only shoots 34% from 3. He was a tenacious defender. He got his hand on the ball all the time. And if you noticed, like I did, I watched the small things. LeBron was always with him. He was always hugging him, always talking to him. That's a dude that he respects. He loves hustle players. He always has. That's why Caruso got big minutes. That's why Matthew Dellavedova got big minutes. And that's why I believe a guy like Austin Reeves, he's got to have himself a little NBA white guy. But these are hustle players. They know the situation they're in. They're playing with arguably the greatest player of all time, and they want those minutes side by side with LeBron. If you watched Austin Reeves last year, he got his hands on a lot of ball, and he was confident as heck. This is a dude who hit game winners. He can knock down three-point shots, and he has been putting in work. So starting lineup number 3, to really up the shooting, I feel you would go with Kendrick Nunn and you would go with Austin Reaves. This would allow you to actually have a little bit better shooting. Let's go to the shot chart for our boy Reaves. The thing about the stat pushers, the pencil pushers, is they're going to take a general number. Obviously, Reaves loves the left side of the court. So when you talk about positions, when you talk about 4 out, 1 in, you just got to get him to his spots, right? When we look at this, he is very good at finishing in the paint. This is a guy who shoots super high percentages in the paint, very good at jump shots, 6'5", 6'6", a little bit longer, who can get in there and get some buckets. And if you look at the outside over here, it's really bad. Now he's working on it, but this is not his favorable side to shoot. So that's why he has lower 3-point percentages. But where did he hit that game winner at? Right here last year. He's confident. I talk about this in this channel from a hooper's perspective. When you sit at the 3-point line or anywhere and hey, I always make it from here. You release that ball in rhythm. You release that ball on time and you just shoot it because you know it's going to go in, whether it does or not. But when you go over to these areas where you're 16% up top, you know about it in your head and you're like, oh my God, I got to get my arm right. I got to get my shot right. That's what happens. So get him to his spots. I'll take 38.6% all game long, and over in the corner 38.5. So this is dang near a 40% shooter from this side of the court. The good news is when you team that up with Kendrick Nunn like we showed, you get numbers like this. He also can shoot from a high click right here, but he's 34 to 41% right here. So this is where this is where Reaves really struggles. Well, Kendrick Nunn shoots at a very high percentage over here, and he shot 100 3-pointers from right here. So he's confident right there. Again, he can finish in the paint very high. If we look at Westbrook again, he is a guy who shot 20% in here. So this is a very good scoring team, and you have, tenacious defense, I think, with Austin Reaves. But that's where you kind of lack because you don't have a Schroeder or you don't have, a Patrick Beverley in there. Again, I want to give you guys the 3 options, and you're going to vote on which backcourt you like. But real quick, what I want to do is also bring up one of the other players that will be in here. Now, if you look at Anthony Davis, so if Austin Reaves shoots really high percentages from right here, Kendrick Nunn shoots really high percentages right here, your boy Anthony Davis shoots 62% from the corner. On a 4 out 1 in system, you're going to have a dunker, so the big man can be down here. You can bring LeBron off of this stuff for screens, whatever, just to get the defense looking. You're always going to be looking at where LeBron is, so I would be bringing him down here to the paint and running him around too, just so the defense gets confused, even if he brings that ball. We know he's going to be a point guard. I'm not an idiot, but at the same time, it would be incredible to see LeBron James start moving around a little bit more to open up a lot more lanes for the other players. But Kendrick Nunn can shoot super high percentage here. Austin Reaves shoots high percentage here, and Anthony Davis shoots a high percentage from this corner. Now, any one of those players we've talked about has some of their career best statistics shooting 3 points from this corner, just like Anthony Davis does. So there's a lot of players on the Lakers, if they're playing the 4 out 1 in down here, who can make shots. So what you really have to have in a 4 out 1 in is a lot of cuts, a lot of movement, people moving and shaking, right? And this is where LeBron James is going to be able to dive into the paint a lot more and kick it out like he has historically in his entire career. From there, these guys need to be in their correct spots, and then we can see it work out. And combination number 4. But before I get to it, because it is crazy, again, please, if you would, dunk that like button. It really helps your NBA white guy out. The next one, since LeBron James said he can't wait to run it back with Dennis Schroeder, he is the starting point guard. Well, we all know that LeBron's the starting point guard, but on paper, Dennis Schroeder and Austin Reaves. So now you've got a little bit more height. You have tenacious defense. Schroeder is a guy who can score. He can score a lot of points. So he is, somebody that really can stretch defenses. He's a guy who can play defense. And then you can bring in Anthony Davis, LeBron James. Now, what do you guys think about actually running Davis at the 5 and putting in who we all like and what you guys are commenting, a Cole Schroeder? This is a 6'9" guy who shot the lights out in preseason. A lot of you guys are really high on him. So imagine if you had Austin Reaves at 6'5", Schroeder, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Oh my God, then Anthony Davis has to play the 5. Who cares? It's a 4 out 1 in system. You have a dunker role, and the dunker role, the 1 in, is not always a center. It can be anybody. This is a very motion-friendly offense, a lot of passing and cutting. And if you look at incredible teams that move the ball very well, just like the Golden State Warriors, they typically don't have a big man. If they do, it's a guy like Looney, right? They will run Draymond Green at the 5, and that's the team you obviously have to beat. That's the defending champions. So this, allowing Anthony Davis to be out on the wing anyways, where he wants to be, but there's going to be a lot of pick and roll with him still. But these guys have got to cut, move, and get open. I think, having a stretch shooter like Austin Reeves in his correct spot, having Dennis Schroeder as an absolute beast defender, and now you could honestly switch him or Pat Bev for just that defensive role. But that would be another lineup number 4. So you guys need to vote on it right now. Is it number 1, Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley? Number 2, Dennis Schroeder and Patrick Beverley? Number 3, Austin Reeves and Kendrick Nunn? Or number 4, Dennis Schroeder and bringing in your boy Austin Reeves? That's the 4 that I have. I'm sure you guys have some different starting lineups. So comment down below. First of all, which one of those starting lineups, 1, 2, 3, or 4, would you like? Or what starting lineup are you thinking would be best for this Lakers team to go deep into the playoffs? Again, make sure that you dunk that like button. I bring up tons of statistics and absolute knowledge from a hooper's perspective. And make sure that you always tap that subscribe button so you never miss a video. In fact, you don't want to miss this video right here that talks about the Lakers' 3 biggest flaws. These are not just 3 minor flaws. If they do not fix these, they will have the worst season in Lakers history. So make sure you go watch that bad boy right there. And until the next video, homies, we'll catch you later.